Give us some insight on who Anthony Noto is and how he went from, Goldman Sachs banker to a hedge fund and now to Twitter CFO.
So Anthony Noto is one of those people who, if you asked him 10 years ago what you plan on doing, and he said, I plan on being CFO of the NFL, I plan on being an IPO banker at Goldman Sachs, and oh yeah, I plan on being a CFO of Twitter, people would have looked at him and laughed. But he is one of those people who's able to do these things. He's one of those magnetic personalities who gets the job done. He has this aura of credibility around him and action that people gravitate to. So he's been able to jump from position to position to position, adapt very quickly, and now his latest move, of course, is the CFO of Twitter.
And he was responsible in part for that Twitter IPO as well. So, what kind of reputation did he gain there, and how did that wind up helping?
So the Twitter IPO was a big deal for Goldman Sachs. It was the biggest tech company they ever took public, according to our data. And that deal was executed, or it was seen to have been executed very seamlessly. It was a stark
Especially
contrast.
If you compare to Facebook,
yes,
say, yeah.
Exactly, to what happened with Facebook, where there were all sorts of leaks surrounding the deal. There was all sorts of news and speculation about things that weren't in the public filing in the S1. Twitter, in contrast, was a very closely held deal. It was one that was executed very well. It was priced at a place that seemed to be very, very good. And then, of course, traded up 73% on the first day. But that was Twitter's plan the whole long. They wanted to leave some money on the table to get that first day pop. Now, here we are 6-7 months later, and that valuation that it achieved on the first day, a lot of investors are having some sort of second thoughts about that. That's why we've seen the stock fall about 36% this year, because they're concerned that Twitter hasn't been able to grow into that valuation, that their user growth is slowing. And so that's why we've seen a lot of the management shuffle to date, and that's why they brought in Anthony Noto. The guy who was there when the IPO was executed so perfectly is seen as the best choice to revitalize this company now that they're coming to kind of a struggle.
What's interesting, too, what struck me, I was looking at his bio, is, he used to be a .com analyst, internet analyst. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So I wonder where he sort of learned his chops in the internet world that then transitioned.
That's a really good question, Alex. So we're seeing more and more of these former research analysts during the .com era, and what you had happened there was Elliot Spitzer came in 2002 and said no more research analysts at the IPO presentations. It totally transformed the role of a research analyst within an investment bank, changed their business model, made it less lucrative. You're starting to see different types of people becoming research analysts today. So those former .com research analysts, especially on the technology side, are more and more frequently becoming IPO bankers, seen as a more lucrative thing. And it's more attractive to management because you have that ingrained sense of research. You have that curiosity that helps
There's
you
some credibility that winds up coming along with that.
Exactly.
And in terms of Silicon Valley, not just in terms of Twitter, how much clout does he wind up having?
Noto has an incredible amount of clout in Silicon Valley. And if you think about it, he was only at Goldman Sachs for about 3 years before he joined Cowen, which is the hedge fund out there. But during those 3 years, he built up an immense reputation out in Silicon Valley for truly understanding the industry, for truly understanding what it takes to take a company public, revitalize the Goldman Sachs brand. Again, he was helped by the Facebook debacle in which Morgan Stanley was kind of put in the penalty box for a little bit.
Right.
But he took advantage of that opportunity and really, really built up his credibility. And people just out there, everyone from venture capitalists to investors to companies have very positive things to say about Anthony Noto.